Okay, that's enough of this. We're out of the cool kids club and into the really cool kids club. Austin Curtis Peterson. I had mentioned on my last stream that a warrant for the arrest of Bossman Jack had been issued by the central. What's his district? He's like in this Greene County. He's in the same fucking county as Christian, as or like a neighboring county. But a warrant had been issued. He had bond violations, and it was expected because he had a meeting with his parole officer that week that he would be arrested at his bond hearing, or like at his I don't know what you call it, the guy that checks your pee, the pee man. He was going to meet the pee man to talk about his pee, and you know that fat fucking cunt, Music Biz Barney, the guy that constantly swats people like Chantel. He called a wellness check on Bossman, thinking that once the police arrived, they'd arrest him because he has an outstanding warrant, and they didn't get arrested. So I don't know why the fuck Music Biz Barney is not in jail. Like they need to do something with him. The parole officer, that's it. So it was expected that he would be arrested at his parole meeting, and he was. Bossman is in the Central Virginia jail, regional jail, which is this. You may recognize that jumpsuit, as stated previously. That is the same jumpsuit that Christian wore. Same jail, same mugshot facility. He's in jail. He he's facing a difficult situation. Okay. In case you're wondering, he is a convicted felon. He got convicted for burglary. He pled guilty, and as a part of his guilty plea, he received a 5-year suspended sentence, which means that as long as he did not break the law, he would not go to jail. Bossman has broken the law, and he has been posted on bond on recognizance. And as explained before, the thing that he recognized is that he would stay sober and he would consent to pee tests. And he did not stay sober. He almost immediately started doing crack again and then failed his pee test, probably multiple times. And then on top of that, he missed an appointment with his PO, so he didn't show up. So they probably were going to pull him in and say, like, hey, you're failing tests, and I'm going to give you one more chance, one more failed P test, and then you're going back to jail, buddy. You're going to fail. And he didn't show up to that meeting. So it's like, okay, well, what are we going to do with you? You're pissing hot, you're pissing dirty, and you're not showing up to our meetings where we can talk about the status of your bond. So I can't even give you a second chance because you're not showing up. So they arrested him. I actually asked a Virginia attorney who may or may not have been the prosecuting attorney for Greene County at some point, which is be the person that sends people to this jail. I said, quick question. If someone is 5 years suspended in VA and gets arrested for a similar charge, then breaks bond on that charge, do they get the rest of the 5 years or the entire 5 years? I.e., if you get sentenced to 5 years and then 4.5 years in, you break the terms of your suspended sentence and go back to jail, do you get half a year or do you get 5 years? The Virginia guy says the judge will reimpose the entire 5 years, parentheses guaranteed, but then 98% of the time they will resuspend a huge chunk. Usually a first probation violation results in 3 to 6 months active time. So the judge, as with the Rekieta case, the judge has a wide berth, not to be confused with a wide berth like Patrick Tomlinson. They have a pretty serious range of what they can convict for. If he wants, he can just suspend the sentence again, or give him half a year in jail, or he can give him 5 years of time, which is a lot. So he might be really. It depends on how much of a kiss ass he is. And Austin, when he gets into a bad situation and he has to like really suck ass, he's not above that. He doesn't have the ego where he If he's down bad, really bad, he's gonna be like, I'm a hard nigga and shit. You fucking with me? Who the fuck you think you is? I'm Bossman Jack, bish, motherfucker. Like Ralph is like a retard like that. But Austin, when he's down bad, he'll get the tears going. So he might get a loose time. But he is a convicted felon. He is on suspended sentence. He did violate probation. And he did violate bond. So there are multiple things going here against his thing. And the judge is probably going to give him a couple years, I feel, because it's like, you're a repeat offender. You're getting up there in age now, buddy. You got to turn your shit around, or you're just going to keep going back to jail over and over again. So Local Supreme wrote this post explaining what the conditions are like inside a jail, because I guess Local Supreme is either a corrections officer or a felon. I will assume that he's a corrections officer. He says there's talk about Bossman in his cell, etc. He is a low-scoring violent offender, so he'll be placed in the violent offender dorm housing and not in an individual two-person cell. He is also not in a cell block like you see in the movies. That's prison. They have another dorm that's almost the same for non-violent offenders. This is very close to what accommodations he will have. The bags hanging at the end of the bed are laundry. There are totes or lock boxes under the bed, each one for each inmate. He may or may not have windows. Wow, windows are a luxury, chat. There are also beds in the middle of the room as well. And before you call top bunk, the top bunk is the bitch's bunk. When the bottom bunk inmate moves out, you will see everyone clamoring to be relocated. The reason why is the bottom bunk you can sit with your feet on the floor, and you can get up whenever you want. You can also reach your stuff. The guy on the top bunk will get his shit beat if he hangs his feet down in the face of the bottom bunk. He will also get bitched out if he keeps shaking the bunk from getting up and down. As you can see, there are no ladders. This individual looks like he can use his foot locker to try and get up. Some just have plastic toes you can't stand on and have to press yourself up against the bunk. Bottom bunk won't like you stepping on their shit. If you think, well, the mattress looks comfy, they are not. They are cheap and worn out patio furniture cushions, and that's when they are new. Underneath them are hard steel mesh or solid steel metal to hold you up and prevent your bunkmate from stabbing you in the back while you sleep. They may also not have chairs in this room at all. You literally spend all day in your bunk, unless it's to get up and go to the shared bathroom at the end of the dorm, or go to the rec outside of the room. If everyone's being chill, the CO might allow people to mingle around the room to play cards and talk. Depending on the facility, you may get your trays, meals delivered to the dorm, and then you eat them in your bunk as well. I'm not sure if the Central Virginia Regional has a dining facility. What's in the foot lockers or totes under the bed? Your clean clothes, your shoes, your commissary, which will include food you purchased, hygiene items, stationery cards, and any letter or paperwork you have. Some places allow you to lock. Most people do not. And then there's an explanation about laundry. So, boss man going to jail. An end an era. A Bossman Jack. Truly sad, depressing, heart-wrenching, stomach churning, nauseating. How could this happen? He didn't do anything wrong. Sure, he gambled. Sure, he smoked crack. Sure, he destroyed his room. Sure, he punched his father. But who hasn't? Who hasn't? Let he who has not smoked a little crackarooski crack rock cast the first stone. Who's really the monster here, chat? Not Bossman. Not Bossman. I hated that nigga, not gonna lie. Fuck you too, bish, motherfucker.
Thanks for watching this clip. This is Willow. Remember to like and subscribe.